Hello everyone, welcome aboard. So again, we have brought you the new session of Daily Current Affairs Capsule, and this session has been brought to you by Himalaya IAS classes. If you want to join IAS 2021 batch or KAS examination batch in English or Kannada medium, you can visit us at www.himalayaiasclasses.com, or you can reach out to us on this given number. Before we start with the session, significance of the current affairs for civil services exams. So in prelims, you have straightforward questions from the current affairs topic. In the mains, direct as well as indirect questions are asked from the current affairs topics. In the essay, it is very important where you have to write multiple dimensions of any topic, and most of the interview questions are related to the current affairs or contemporary issues. Now, how we are going to utilize this session, we will be telling you the news articles which has to be read from the Hindu, as well as which part of the syllabus they belongs to, and what are the exam important facts from those articles. So let's get started. The first news item today, it relates to the army, Indian Army, which has pulled back 1.5 kilometer from the clash site. So all of us know that in the Galwan region of Ladakh area, that is very important. Please do remember that. The standoff between India and China was going on, and that's where disengagement process is happening between the armies of the two nations. So syllabus wise, it is part of the international relation, and international relation is the part of the general studies paper 2. So Indian troops have moved back 1.5 kilometers from the site of the June 15 clash, which is at Galwan Valley. Galwan is a river also. There's a river called Shok, which also, flows in that area, and it is located in eastern Ladakh. Please look at this in the atlas. And to create a buffer zone, which will be off limits for the food patrolling, so that no further standoff or such clash of situation develops. And this is as per the agreement reached during the Corps commander level talks on June 30th. So this is a part of disengagement process which is going on between the two countries. Now, next news item today, it relates to the vaccine trial norms by the government of India. So all of us know that ICMR, in collaboration with Bharat Biotech Limited of Hyderabad, it's trying to produce a vaccine called Covaxin. After that, they said that they will be launching the vaccine by 15th August. And this criticism or a discussion debate started in the media, saying that we should not compromise the trial methods or standards in order to fasten the process. So syllabus wise, it's a vaccine standard procedure or trial of vaccine, part of the science. Science is a part of general studies paper 3. So few prelims facts for us to know. First thing is there are 5 promising candidate vaccines. So the important ones you should remember is Covaxin. This is the one which India is trying to develop by Bharat Biotech. This is a Hyderabad based company. Okay, and from Zydus Cadila, this is another company which is trying to come up with a vaccine for COVID-19, and their testing has been approved by Drug Controller General of India. So this is the regulatory body which approves the trial of the drugs. Now, usually there are 3 phases in the vaccine trial. Please do remember all of this. Phase 1, it consists of vaccine candidate which is tested on few people to test whether it is safe or not. In phase 2, new group of people to check whether it stimulates the immune system or not. So all of us know that vaccine is nothing but a deactivated or less activated virus which will be introduced in your body. Then your body will create an immune response. Okay, the virus will not be strong enough so that it can make you sick. And then later, when the same virus attacks your body already has the immune response, and so that you escape from that disease. So this is the principle on which vaccine works. So that is tested in the phase 2 trial. In the phase 3, finally, when the vaccine is tested on thousands and in the real world, like in a lot of people, checking whether it's not having any side effect to the other vaccines or disease which people have. Okay, so these are the normal different phases of vaccine trial, and government is coming up with a norm so that all these rumors or doubts that the standard procedure might be compromised, they can be removed. Next article today talks about the police terror and theatre of law. So all of us know that the custodial death of 2 people in Thoothukudi in Tamil Nadu, that has unfortunate event that has happened. So after that, a lot of these articles are coming up. So prelims wise, there is nothing in this article. Syllabus wise, it is part of the polity, and mains, it is part of general studies paper 2. But there are certain points which you can use in your main answer writing or in your essay. So first thing is the modern state emerged by gathering the power dispersed among the rival local strongmen and depositing it in a single set of interrelated institutions. See, the modern state, what it has done that in the earlier times when there was no state authorities, local kings, chieftains, local landlords, they had the power, to use their force against the common people. So that power has been taken from them, and power has been vested into the democratic interrelated institutions, judiciary, the government, the legislature. Okay, so that is how the modern state has emerged. Now our society is meant to be governed by the rule of law. Okay, and the rule of law has to be implemented by a state above it, that too in an impartial manner. Okay, so actually if you see in this custodial death case, all of this has been violated. First thing, the institution which has taken power in order to protect the people, that has misused it. And then the institution itself has to be governed by the rule of law, and state has to make sure of it. That has been violated. Okay, so the system of rule of law, it depends on the deployment of force and presence of constraints on the access. See, first thing is you have to enforce the law. So for that you have law enforcement agencies, for example police. But this is not arbitrary or as per their wishes. This enforcement of the law, or the power to enforce the law which they have been provided with, it is there, but with the constraints, like there are constitutional measures, there are legislative measures which cannot be violated. So ultimately everybody in all the institutions, they are part of the rule of law, and they have to act as per that. So without the proper rule of law, all these institutions, okay, they'll become tyrannical, okay, or they will become exploitator rather than protector of the people. Next article today talks about the days of disengagement. So after the standoff between India and China, now the disengagement process has begun. In the first news article, we told you that even Indian army has pulled back. Before that, we saw that Chinese army has pulled back from the clash side. This article again talks about the future of India-China relations. So it is part of international relations, and international relations is part of general studies paper 2. So see, in a nutshell, this article says that we need to look into the reasons why this has happened, and we should not allow it to happen in future. Also, it talks about there is a need to look forward for the positive relationship between the two countries in the future. Okay, so first thing, the major argument of the article is India and China, as they are disengaging, they must slowly seek to rebuild trust in their ties. Okay, you can change your friends, but you can't change your neighbors, right? That's a famous saying. So full inquiry is needed of the build-up to clash and circumstances which surrounded it. So how this happened, that has to be inquired upon, so that we can avoid this type of incident in the future. Government must consider whether it will continue its course of economic measures. We know that government has banned several Chinese apps. Also, along with that, government has stopped major investment proposals from the neighboring country, especially China. They are reviewing it. Okay, we discussed it in yesterday's article also. So banning of apps, investment restrictions, and even we are restricting the imports. We are trying to export. So these are sort of economic sanctions which we are putting. So we must see how much sustainable they are for future. Okay, and also there is a question whether we are going to stop the high-level contact talks. So, for example, Wuhan informal summit which happened between the Prime Minister of India and Xi Jinping. Then we have seen in Mahabalipuram the same informal talks of Chinese premier which happened in India. So are we going to discontinue? Are we going to continue? So we need to think about all these measures. And plus the core argument, it's saying that we should slowly seek to rebuild the trust between the two countries. Then the next article talks about the nuclear scenario between India and China. We both know that it is both of them are nuclear armed countries, and China is recently increasing their nuclear arsenal. So what should be India's response to it? So syllabus wise, again, part of international relations, and international relations is the part of general studies paper 2. So in the conventional escalation along the LAC, India cannot afford to ignore China's expanding nuclear arsenal. Okay, so they are pursuing a planned modernization of their nuclear arsenal, because in the name of their fearing of multi-layered missile defense system of United States. So they are arming themselves with multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, MIRV they are called. Okay, to neutralize America's threat. Okay, along with that, We have also seen that they have published videos. There is a report published by some group which says that China has increased their nuclear arsenal built up. So if that is happening, then we cannot have the doctrine of no first use. We all know that, okay, in any situation, if China starts using their missiles or any weapons of mass destruction, then we need to seriously assess the extent of our nuclear doctrine, which says no first use means we will not be the first one to use the nuclear power. Okay, and redouble our efforts to get the robust triadic capability for deterrence. See, triadic capability is nothing but by land, sea, and air. We should have the capability. So even in case, let us say, some country attacks us with a nuclear warhead, we should have the capability for a second strike, and not just second strike, we should have a capability for third strike. So first strike capability is by your land stations, if you can launch nuclear armor. Deterrence is nothing but it's a threat that if you use force against us, we have the capability to use force. So that is known as deterrence. So the triadic capability means you can use it by army, and let us say in the first strike, if they destroy all your army bases from where you can launch the nuclear weapon, then you should have the capability to launch it by air. So that is second layer. And triadic third layer is, even if let us say they destroy your all the airports in one shot and you are not able to launch a nuclear attack by the air defense, by your air force, then you should have a submarine, you know, like Akula class submarine, which we are procuring from Russia, which will be your third strike capability. So that submarine will be somewhere out in the sea, which nobody will be knowing. And in case the worst case appears, then that can also attack. So that is a threat. So that is known as deterrence, and we should be ready with that. Next article talks about the situation in South China Sea. Okay, how China is getting isolated even from the Asian neighbors. So syllabus wise, again, it is part of international relations, and international relations is the part of general studies, paper 2. So the article tells you with the example of Philippines. Okay, and actually same situation is there with other countries like Singapore and Vietnam. So South China Sea, in the southern portion of the China, that's the water body where China claims a lot of territory, saying a 9-dash line. Okay, so Philippines, uh, who considers one of the island which is located in South China Sea, Spratly Island. Okay, please look at it into the atlas. So on that, China annexed this island. They claimed this the territory of this island. So Philippines took to the matter to the UN Convention on the Laws of Seas, UNCLOS, and it claims this legality. Then the Permanent Court of Arbitration, The Hague, all of us know that, they said they rejected the claim of China, simply saying, and said that the Chinese 9-dash line doesn't belong to China and there is no such thing. Okay, but China has dismissed the judgment as null and void. Now, one thing important for your prelims, which you should remember is UNCLOS, or United Nations Convention on the Laws of Sea, says that island, anything can be declared as island. It must sustain habitation and capacity for non-extractive economic activity. See, extractive means only extractive marine resources you have an economy. That's not an island. Okay, so this is a definition uh, by which the Spratly, it has been rejected as a claim to be island. It has been said it is not an island. It's like a coral place or shoal, how it is called. So along with that, it's not just this. We all know that US has placed two of its aircraft carriers, Nimitz, as well as the Ronald Reagan in the South China Sea. There are concerns from the Vietnam countries like Singapore, and even by India, which don't like this Chinese disruption of the open seas. See, South China Sea is very important, not just from the territorial countries. It is also very important from the trade perspective. Lot of world trade, and including the trade of India, it goes to and from, or it passes through this South China Sea region. So having an open sea, allowing everybody to pass through this route is very important for all of us. Okay, so these activities of China, it will lead to more of its isolation. Next article today talks about the CATSA, okay, the Countering American Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. So syllabus wise, part of international relation, and international relation is the part of general studies, paper 2. So what is CATSA? This is an act which has been enacted by the United States Parliament, to put sanctions on any country who is purchasing arms from Russia in very simple terms. Okay, please remember the full form: countering America's adversaries through Sanctions Act. Literal meaning is actually what this act tries to achieve. Why in news? Because now we are trying to procure, after the LAC tension between India and China, 21 MiG-29 fighter jets, upgrade of 59 of this MiG-29, plus acquisition of 12 Sukhoi 30 MKI aircraft from Russia. Okay, so whether again will be put on the sanction list or not, that's the question which is coming up again. And US president has the power to waive these sanction on case by case basis. If he want, in a particular situation, they can waive back this. Okay. So recently they have put this on Turkey. Turkey was buying F-35 fighter jets from Russia. At the same time, they were trying to procure S-400 Triumph missile defense system from Russia. So through this act, US has stopped selling them the F-35 fighter jets. So please remember, sometimes in the exam they just ask, recently seen in news, CATSA is. So CATSA is nothing but countering America's adversaries through Sanctions Act. Next article today talks about China censoring the internet in the Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is a semi-autonomous region of China. It was a former UK, United Kingdom's colony, okay, which was given back with a two administrative system arrangement to China in 1997. So we all know that national security law has been passed by China, and they are trying to suppress the autonomy of Hong Kong region. Because of this, these two places are too much in news. Please look at the map where Hong Kong is located. Syllabus wise, again, part of the international relations, and international relations is the part of general studies paper 2. So China has unveiled new powers to censor Hong Kong's internet and access users' data using its feared national security law. So see, this is the law because of which a lot of problems have started appearing, okay, in the international scenario. American tech companies, they are offering some resistance to it, like Facebook, WhatsApp, Google. They have said that we are not going to give the data of the users to the Chinese authority. Okay, but this tension has led to a lot of global outrage. Like US has put some sanctions. It has ended the special status, special trading status of the Hong Kong. Plus United Kingdom, they have given some eased broader citizenship norms for the Hong Kong residents. Okay, so this is again one more assertive stance of China which it is showing in its neighborhood. Next article today, it is related to the environmental science about Arctic spill. So in Arctic region, a major oil spill has happened. It is being considered as one of the global disasters in the environmental field. So syllabus wise, it is related to the EVS, and EVS is a part of general studies paper 3. So please remember the name of this company, Norilsk. I don't know how to pronounce, Norilsk Nickel. It has to pay $2 billion fine that has been given by the Russian environmental authorities because of the damage which has happened due to huge Arctic fuel spill. See, national level emergency was announced after 21,000 tons of diesel fuel got spilled in from a reservoir, okay, outside the Arctic city of Norilsk. Okay, so we all know that oil spill, it pollutes the huge stretches of river in the remote tundra. Even it is very threatening for the marine biodiversity, the flora and fauna which is there in the ocean, and it has a very adverse effect on the environment. Okay, and just about this company, this is the largest producer of nickel and palladium. It's a Russian company. Okay, Norilsk Nickel. Last news item of today talks about the equalization levy. Central government has said that it is not going to extend the deadline for levy on foreign e-commerce companies. Okay, so let us see. Syllabus wise, it is part of the economy, and economy is the part of general studies paper 3. See, what is equalization levy? All the e-commerce companies like Amazon, Flipkart, Google, they are not paying any tax in India. They are not doing any direct business, right? So what happens? For this, government has put this equalization levy, which is 2%. It is sort of a tax which will be applied to these companies. Okay, so they have not yet filled anything. From 1st July, I think they are, after that the time starts when they have to give this tax, and they demanded that some extension should be provided in filling the tax deadline, but government is saying that they are not going to consider this deadline. See, equalization tax is something similar to what GAFA tax is. GAFA tax is nothing but G for Google, A for Apple, F for Facebook, and let us say A for Amazon. It was introduced in Europe by France. So these companies, they evade taxes, okay, by different ways. So put them under tax sanction, the e-commerce companies, these type of tax has been brought by various governments around the world. In India, this is being called as equalization levy. So please do remember that. That was all for today's session, guys. This is a list of do's and don'ts which you can follow in order to maximize your chances for selection. And please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, and to press the bell icon so that you can get notified whenever we upload any new video related to the current affairs. So thanks a lot for watching, and please stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.